Very good morning to all present here today. I welcome you all to this talk on how to patent your idea and monetize it. So we have with us today our guest who is Mr. Jinav Gatalia. So he is the MD in Jani Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals Limited, and he's a chemical engineer by profession, and from the Institute of Chemical Technology. His company, Jani Chemicals and Pharmaceuticals, is developing a solution for manufacturing sustainable and renewable chemicals. And it has also been a very niche member of organizations under the United Nations, consisting of around 262 members globally. So this is just a brief view of who we have as guests with us today. So in order to know more, I'm sure all of you all are very excited, and so I wouldn't want to waste more time. So I would ask Harshad Pore sir to take us further into this journey of Jinav Gatalia. Sir. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Nicole. All dear participants, hi, good morning. It's a pleasant morning here. Almost feels like a weekend to me. Good time to be together. Hello, I'm Harshad Santosh Pore. I'm an assistant professor with the Department of Mass Media and Film Production, K. Ashraf College, and I'm a member of CIIE, that is Center for Innovation, Incubation, and Entrepreneurship. And I'm going to be your host today. And I have with me a very special guest, Mr. Jinav Gatalia. Hi, a very warm welcome to you, Jinav. Now, the session is going to be a conversation between Jinav and I for 45 minutes. And last 15 minutes will be given for you where you can interact with the guest. You don't have to put your questions in the chat box. Just raise your hand and you can unmute yourself and ask your question in last 15 minutes. I would also like to remind you that you may be required to fill a feedback form towards the end if you want a certificate. All right, thank you very much. With that, let us start. Yes, coming to you now, my very first question to you is obviously, tell us something about your patent so that we, the lay people, can understand.
Yes, the patent that has been granted to me with respect to biometrics is one of the process patents that we had done for a utility project. It had not started out as a patent, but it had, of course, started out as an idea. And then during that idea, we decided that we could use multiple biometric sensors to improve the efficiency and timing for identification of individuals, as well as increase the accuracy with respect to certain biometrics, which are not usually used in today's world. Of course, now we all know finger and face because our phones have finger and face biometric sensors. So yes, that is a dual integration that has happened on the mobiles, and there are certain other applications that are there. But we had integrated more than 5 biometrics in this process, and we had also, along with that, we had also taken out a method by which we could integrate DNA with that. Of course, DNA splitting and their processing, also getting the DNA strand aligned takes about 48 hours now. It may be a little bit more than 48 hours, but yes, it takes 48 hours. But that can be used in cases where no other biometrics are available of the person, like in the cases of accidents or fire incidents where the fingers get burned, the face has been bruised so bad, and also eyes have been impacted beyond certain measures. So we had developed that as a respite to get every corner of all the biometrics assimilated into a single platform. So
that certainly sounds fascinating.
Yeah, so this started out as an idea to integrate multimodal biometrics on a single platform with respect to seamless integration with each other, not not interjecting or intercepting each other's platform, but to create a universal platform so that we are able to accomplish all the given biometrics at a single point through a single software and multiple sensors. That was the idea.
Okay, that is certainly very heavy. But I would like to remind the audience here, Gino has been consistently a top performer at his college. He has been an alumnus of Institute of Chemical Engineering. That should give you an idea. Consistently a top performer, an exceptionally good student. And while he was still a student, I think he filed for the patent and got the patent finally. A chemical engineer, today MD managing director of a company at a very young age and having his own patent. So Gino, I'm really curious to know, how did you get this idea to begin with? And I'm sure it is related to technology, a lot of technology. You are a chemical engineer. How did these two things marry? I mean, how did it start?
Yeah, so I just like to start out. We at that point of time, I was when I started out this particular idea, it was not a patent at that point of time, but more of an idea, which we had. I mean, I and my professor, who was in D.Y. Patil College of Biotechnology, we wanted to merge and provide a platform to government authorities and agencies for their solution, wherein there were many problems with the subsidies and the below poverty line people not getting immediate access to the benefits of the schemes which the government used to roll out. So now they, on the same basis, now they have rolled out Aadhaar, which consists of 4 biometrics. But yes, they have just put that on a card, on a piece of card, and generated a number. They are not using, again, they have done one aspect of our they have used one aspect of my innovation, but they have not used the second aspect. Actually, it was the second aspect which was important, and that is why we developed this particular system, and that was with reference to the identification platform that we would like to provide all these authorities and companies as well. So the first thing that came to mind was government, and so we decided that we wanted to integrate the biometrics with the DNA, and thereby this whole idea came up. And with my colleague and my dear friend, now he has become the dean of NMIMS here in Vile Parle. So he's a dear friend of mine now, but he was a professor at that point of time in D.Y. Patil College of Biotechnology in Navi Mumbai. And so we decided that it could be brought to reality with a software integration, not with the hardware integration, because there are different sensors for all the biometrics and DNA, so we cannot do that. But yes, a software platform that could integrate multiple biometric sensors can be done. So we decided to embark on this journey. First, it was going to be used for commercial purposes only, and we have done that, and that is what the government has taken into consideration. But yeah, it has implemented only a single side of that facet. The other side still remains completely vulnerable, because of course they decided that providing or generating a 10-digit unique digital code would solve the matter. But the problem is duplication of cards is easy, and hence the problem still persists. But no, nonetheless, yes, this was the crux of the idea that we had decided to go on, and finally it became a software, and then we got the patent for that.
Okay, so you still believe that maybe the government needs to work on the 5th aspect which they have left out, the DNA? Is it something like that?
No, the DNA is difficult, but yes, in the cases of accident, there was one at the time of filing a patent. I had come across one article where it was a nasty article. I should not repeat it, but nonetheless, since it is relevant to this context, I will say there was a crash in Mangalore. If you remember, an aircraft of Air India had run off the Mangalore runway and had gone 340 feet down the mountain top, because it's the runway is basically on the mountain top, and the end of the runway it's a cliff. So there's a fall of 340 feet. And all the passengers died. Even the crew died. It was a very nasty incident for India in Indian aviation at that point of time. And they could not. The bodies were split. There was no way you could identify the bodies, or you could identify the individual. And the people were, they could not even burn their dead. the remains had to be burnt with the plane. So there was no point. I mean, we Indians are very particular about those things because we still like to believe that we have the if we have the ashes, we can pour the ashes into Ganga or the sea or something like that. So that's our process. But at that time, government did not have any kind of DNA identification validated at that point of time. There was a huge cry about the same. Also, there were at that point of time other governments like the US government and the Dubai government trying to implement a DNA-based biometric model for identification of people. And they were also in the process of developing a sensor which could identify that particular DNA strand within a matter of minutes rather than hours. Yeah, it's not come to fruition or reality, but yeah, the process is still on. But the DNA can be used as a last resort or a tool, but you can have multiple. That is why we integrated multiple biometrics, say 4 or 5 or 6, so that we are able to get greater accuracy as well as greater efficiency with respect to an individual, and that is what we have achieved through this process.
Okay, that is great. Now, will I be correct if I say something like we already had these ways to trace these 5 biometric identities that you mentioned. Now, your innovation comes in play when you talk about the idea of integrating all 5 of them together.
Yes, that is correct. The process patent has been granted as a utility patent. So first, I would like to explain that there are 3 kinds of patents, and this belongs to the utility patent. So there is utility, design, and plant patents. So these are the basic kind of patents, and this one belongs to the utility because utility has a subdivision of 11 categories. So basically, all the major aspects of the processes, the improvements in efficiency or things like that, or associated with things which have been done prior to this, but are improved in the secondary or the tertiary versions of them. They are basically patented under the utility patent. So this one comes under utility patent, and we have registered with the WIPO organization, which is the World Intellectual Proprietary Organization. And it depends where you would like to register your patent, again on depending on the utilization and the usage and things like that. So we had taken this up with WIPO, and that is what I would like to explain over here. I mean, the process that we have developed is a software algorithm or a software solution that we have developed by integrating all the 5-6 biometric sensors that we can. Not just that, we are able, it will be also be able to accommodate more biometric sensors at the time and need if be. According to their additional, we can use an additional sensor if required by certain individual organizations or by governmental organizations for getting or achieving higher accuracy and efficiency.
Right. Now, another very important aspect, just to make things clearer, what you have gained a patent for is an idea, not a device. Will it be correct to say that?
Yes, it is not even an idea. It is the software algorithm that we have developed. That is the main crux of our. Because see, the sensors are completely different. So they are based out of various companies. But what we have done is we have utilized those sensors for our benefit, and we have brought them to where we would like to be and get the results that we want. Now, the main thing that we have achieved is integration and synergy between them through software and not through hardware. Whereas hardware integration is all the more complicated, but software integration is rather easy.
All right. And is it a worldwide patent?
Yes. So WIPO is a worldwide organization, and that is why we had taken up a worldwide patent and not an individual country patent.
Okay. Now, many people must be interested in knowing this. How much does it cost? Does it cost a lot of money to get an idea patented?
First of all, I'll tell you, you have to classify your idea, and whether you will, before classifying that idea, whether it is patentable or not, you will have to do a lot of literature survey, because I'm sure that there would be parts and pieces of your idea or your puzzle which you have in your head being already solved by someone else in history. So we would have to take the reference for that. And if that is done, a part has been done, then you would obviously have to apply for a process patent or a utility patent, which in case is the simplest to apply. And yes, it does have a lot of economic effect, but you would have to still consider that a patent gives you a 17-year monopoly rights over that, and it has a lot of value. It brings a lot of value to yourself as well as your entity which you have taken in.
All right.
Thereby, it does give you a monopolized market to grab, which is available for a period of 17 years. And also then you have extension of your patent, which can be taken for another 11 or 12 years, depending on the country that you take in. And also that will give you an added advantage of selling. I mean, if you have subsidiaries or you sell your patent, then you can get fees in terms of royalties as well. So monetization is not difficult. Monetization can be done, and it can be done very accurately with the plans that you have. But you would have to still define your particular idea or invention. If there is a kind of invention, if you have invented certain I should say certain kind of equipment or certain toys or games which you feel that they have a huge market potential, then yes, sure, I'm sure that you do not go for a trademark or copyright, but you directly go for an invention patent, which is a design patent or plant process patent. So that is
right. So you mentioned that you will be granted a patent for 17 years and maybe an extension of up to 11 years.
No. So first of all, the process patent has been granted for 17 years. That is firm. Then you have an extension of 12 years. That is firm. But that depends on the country, because after 17 years, WIPO does not take any kind of authority. But then you have to go to the individual country where you would like to extend the patent. So that is dependent on the country where you file it.
Okay, but after your monopoly rights, the way you define them, after they're over, does the patent automatically go into the public domain afterwards?
Yes, so it goes into the public domain. But if you file for a particular country, say if you have filed for a patent in WIPO and now you still want to continue that patent in Europe, in Germany or in UK, then you would have to individually register an extension period in that particular country, and then you get the extended rights for that particular patent in that particular country. But the other countries are then devoid of that monopolized practices. There people can replicate your invention and monetize. So again, yes, it incurs some economical cost, but not that much. The first thing is that you would have to quantify the magnitude of economical cost with respect to your patent, because if you are going to get a load of money when you are able to easily monopolize it, then it's exactly the way that you would like to move forward with respect to a patent or an idea.
All right. Now, you mentioned the software or technological aspects a couple of times. And I think in our brief conversation, you also mentioned, is it correct that one of our KE Shroff College professors was associated with this in some way?
Yeah, at that point of time, I don't think he was a KES Shroff College professor, but yes, he was at that point of time, he was professor for me as well. So I was in Anil College, which is in Malad, and he was professor over there for the IT department, and he has worked with me extensively on this project, and his name is Mr. Devang Thakkar, and you can approach him anytime for this particular patent. He is a co-inventor along with me and 4 others for this particular patent as well.
Yes, Mr. Devang Thakkar, he is associated with us today. He is live right now in this meeting. We're very happy to have you here, sir. And to all the students of K. Ashraf College, you know you have a great resource here. If you decide to file your patent today, we have somebody of our own at our home. Now, yes, Gino, thank you very much for everything that you have said. The most important part now, I'm sure we have a lot of students here who may get a lot of ideas in their heads,
Yes.
but they do not know what to do with them later. So can you actually help them understand whether their ideas are worthy of getting a patent on? And second, if they are worthy, then how do they go about filing a patent? Maybe you can elaborate your own process.
So first of all, you started off as an idea. You don't start it off as a patent. Then once you start off the idea, the first thing that you would have to do is literature survey. You would have to go to n number of libraries, go through articles, go through internet publications, and also, I mean, each country has their own patent office. So they have loads of patents coming every year, and they keep a record of the same, and that is available to public domain. So once the patent has been filed, it is available for public review, and you can do your literature survey on that basis. So then you would have to go through those patents. I mean, once you decide that, okay, if this is for chemistry, or if this is for IT, or if this is for health science, or if this is for biotechnology, then depending on those things, you shortlist where most of the patents are being filed, and then you review those patents. Also, you review the history wherein all such kind of research has happened, in which country maximum. Say, for example, right now, if biotechnology is concerned, there is a lot of research going on in Israel and Germany and United Kingdom. Also, there are lots of institutions which are doing research in biotechnology in USA as well as in Netherlands. So you'll have to see and go through the documents and history for these particular countries where such patents have been filed in areas similar to which you have an idea or which you are currently working on. If it's a concept and you are able to build a prototype and things like that, then you directly go for a copyright. You do not hesitate to not go for a copyright, because copyright will give you the initial protection that you require before you have a patent at your hand. Rather than waiting for a patent, get a copyright immediately, which gives you I think it gives you an monopolized business for at least 2 or 3 years, depending on the country where you are. I do not exactly have the data of particular countries in my hand, but yes, 2 years is the time that you get if you get a copyright immediately. So building a prototype and or a process that you feel has been developed, then you can go in immediately for a utility copyright or a concept copyright, which gives you the advantage of 2 years, and then you can immediately go in for the patent.
All right. So if we consider that somebody has done his background research or literature survey and he feels that his idea is good enough, worthy of patenting, he also gets a copyright, then what should be his first step towards getting a patent on it?
So the first step is, okay, now the main point, that is you will have to write the document. So the document is a kind of a thesis. I think if you get into the PhDs, or they are masters in writing theses and all those things. So it's a broad document highlighting the invention that has happened through your process or through your concept or through your idea, whatever you can call it. So it gives an idea on the basis of the past references that you would have to give, that, okay, certain parts of this idea have been taken from here, certain have been taken from here. Things have been done, but I have assimilated them, or I'm getting better efficiencies or better results, or something which is different from what people have done in the past. And that will make you stand apart from all the patents or copyrights that have happened in the past, which will give you an edge over them. That is what is actually the patent, the meaning of getting a patent or a copyright, which gives you an edge over somebody else's invention, idea, or concept. And it can be monetized based on the monopoly that you have attained through that legal route that you have taken, whether it is copyright, patent, or it is trademark. So that gives you the monopolized edge to monetize your invention, concept, and process or idea.
Now, are there certain easy reference resources, maybe a web resource, maybe a document, or maybe a website that can give a very clear step-by-step idea for the sake of our students, something to guide them?
Yeah, I'll surely share. I mean, I'm not able to post anything in the chat. Otherwise, I'll share it right away.
Okay, if the chat room is disabled, I think it can be enabled pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think the chat
Yes,
room is...
it is able, sir. Now participant can chat.
Okay. So I'll just put one thing which I have got. I think I'll send it to you. Basically, you can put it on the chat.
All right, I think, okay, you have sent it to me. I'll put it in the chat box very soon. All right. Thank you very much for that. Now, my next question is very simple. How long did it take you to get this entire process complete from the inception to finally being awarded a patent?
Yeah, so we had initially filed it in 2012, the process patent for WIPO. And since WIPO has 2 layers, you have to go through the home country in which you have filed as well as the international organization WIPO. So it took me a bit longer than expected because there are 2 checks that you'll have to go through. But that's not the same case if you file in India. If you only file in India, you'll have to just go to our office, patent office in India, which has 4 offices across India. So one is in Mumbai, one is in Delhi. I mean, the head office is in Delhi, one is in Mumbai, second is in Chennai, and third is in Kolkata. So these are the 4 offices that they have. I mean, it was quite near for me because the WIPO office is in Vadala. The Indian patent office is in Vadala itself, and I was going to college in Matunga. So for me, the documentation part was really easy because I could. It was hop, skip, and jump for me. So yes, but if you go to the WIPO, then you have to go through 2 organizations, which takes a longer route. But yes, you get a worldwide patent wherein you have other jurisdictions also that where you can apply for the same. So we had done the longer route, and it took us more than 12 to 13 months. Yeah, 12 to 13 months to get our patent registered with WIPO.
Okay, 12 to 13 months. I don't think that's a very long wait, really. That's really great. Now, will it be possible to explain how or if you have actually monetized this particular process? I mean, you mentioned one particular use that in the form of government, for example, in Aadhaar case, or in any other form. Have you actually monetized your patent? Or if not, can you share some other examples of how the monetization can happen?
Yes, so we have done monetization of our patent, and we have sold our software to various small scale industries and medium scale industries across India, and we have done that. So there is plenty of examples that you can monetize patents. We are still having the patent, and we are still monetizing. We have the company, and that's a different company from where, I mean, I am a director there itself as well. So that's the name of the company is Genomtech Bio Private Limited. That was the company under which the patent has been registered itself. So yes, that company is working, and we have the patent, and we are selling our software to number of customers. So yes, we have done monetization of the same. Yeah, it has not happened in the grandeur scale that we had envisaged, but yes, we are still trying to replicate our success that we had envisaged during this particular process of patenting this idea.
All right. Now, is there a very simple method that perhaps the audience can use right now to judge the quality of your idea, to really decide? I know you have mentioned literature survey and a lot of research, But is there something simple that they can do perhaps right now and decide whether, okay, they need to develop this idea further and maybe they can get a patent tomorrow, or no, it's absolutely worthless, or it is just something that has already been done before and they cannot go ahead with this?
The simplest thing is to write and search it on Google if something has been done. The other thing that you can do is you can ask. I mean, in a particular field like engineering or technology or something, wherein you have a particular idea, or maybe not even in those fields now. There are a lot of patents which are being given in the handicraft sector as well for designing a particular design and things like that. So but you will have to check. I mean, and for checking, you'll have to contact. I mean, someone or somebody who has had prior experience in that particular industry. Maybe not of the patent itself or the idea conceptualization and copyright, but yes, you will still have to consult somebody, and that is wherein the loophole is. See, people often try to grab particular inventions or ideas or things like that. So the best thing is that you can monetize it yourself. You can check it yourself basically on Google, and you can just have one simple search saying that okay, this is done or this is not done. So that's the best way. The other thing would be a detailed research and literature survey, but I would say that that would happen in the second or the third phase, because initially you wouldn't not know whether it has been done or something of this sort has even happened. But my best guess would be, look in your surroundings from wherein you have got the ideas, or the problem that has led you to this particular idea, and you are trying to find a solution through your idea for the same problem. And if that is being worked, just go through the newspaper articles or something. It will reflect where you are positioned, and on that basis you will be the best judge for your idea or concept that can be taken into account as an idea which is worthwhile for patenting, or you can just use it as a copyright and then start doing the process for patenting the same.
Okay. Now, again, drawing upon your own experience,
Yeah.
now a lot of students we have are actually commerce students here.
Yes.
You know, it's very similar to your situation. You are from chemical industry and the patent was in tech. So is it compulsory that if I have an idea, I need an absolute expertise on that subject? Is it possible to collaborate with other people who may have that expertise? Or is it possible that I don't want to collaborate, I'm not an expert in that area, but still my idea is worthy and I can still get a patent on that? How important is it to know everything about that particular idea?
Please don't, I mean, it's the wrong term. You do not, I mean, nobody in the world knows everything, but yes, you might have some basic ideas about the other things that other people can perform. So it would be better if you collaborate with like and the people you trust. At the same time, I would add a word of caution that would be just before trusting too much, I think you should have your safeguard checks with that particular organization, individual, or whoever it is. That would be my advice. The second thing would be with respect to, it is easier said than done, but my thing has been developed in collaboration with 4 other inventors. So I would obviously suggest that it would be the best possible route to have collaboration with somebody that you feel you are comfortable with. But you do not need to know absolutely everything about anything and everything that you would like to, I mean, to the idea which is related to your process or to the concept that you would like to patent. But that's fine. It is very easy. You can hire people and you can have a strict, a watertight NDA with them, wherein they cannot reveal details, and the jurisdiction can also be set extremely harsh with a penalty clause as well. So they will refrain from doing any kind of mischief or, revealing the details out in the public.
Okay.
And
So
with
if
respect, and with respect to my thing, I have I would just say that I have a provisional patent for an aniline process that I have developed during my chemical engineering days. It is still under review because it has got a worthy economic value, and I would say that yes, I am trying to get it completely allotted within a short frame of time, but it is still under examination. And over there, I had to do a lot of literature survey. And yes, since you guys are in economics and in commerce, I think the best way would be to idolize Amartya Sen, because he's one of the person that had invented a particular economic model for India, which was applicable to India at that point of time. And ultimately, he got a patent and he also won a Nobel Prize for the same thing. So, yes, you can develop certain models which you feel are relevant to the situation that India is after this pandemic. A lot of things have changed. I mean, and it has severe effects to the context of economy as well as to the lives of people. So I would feel that yes, some kind of economic model that you can present to the government as well as to institutions other than the government as well, which give financial or economic advices to the chief economic advisor or to the prime minister of India. So that would be very feasible for your students.
Yes. Okay, students. So that was a word of advice for you. Also, in the meantime, I have uploaded the detailed WIPO guide for getting a patent. You can find it in the chat box. You can download it very easily. If you have a problem downloading it, it will be uploaded later in the WhatsApp group. So where you will have a very easy access to the detailed process of filing a worldwide patent.
And this is particularly interesting because I mean, in chapter number 5, you can see that it has been particularly they inform regarding the process that has to be followed by a startup or a new company. So that is why it is much more interesting rather than, having a backup by a large corporation and having hefty economic and financial backing would be not possible for everyone. But yes, this would be the process. And they also, I would like to mention that there has been a slight reduction in the overall economical implications that you have when you are filing a patent for worldwide, from WIPO. So they have also reduced their prices for filing a patent as well. But I think that said and done, the lawyers or the intellectual property associated people do not do that. So you'll have to mind that cost as well.
Right. Okay. Now, I think we have time for 2 more questions before we turn to the audience. So my penultimate question is, when you have multiple collaborators on a particular patent, is there also some pre-decided percentage share of ownership? Is it possible that if you have 3 more collaborators, then everyone shares exact 25% right over it, or it can vary?
First of all, the invention is the invention. There is no there is no parting in that particular invention. So there is no percentage rights that you can claim for an invention. The invention is unanimous for everyone. There is no division in the form of, for monetizing it in profit sharing or something like that. If you would like to do that, then you would have to form a company, and in that you would have to write it in the MOA and the EOA for disbursing the profits ascertained out of this patent by monetizing it in the manner that you would like to have, whether it is 25% or 50%, depending on the effort that you put in. So that can be only classified in the company's policies or MOA and AOA to be precise.
Right. So you need to maybe write some document for it. It's not something that you get by default. And now I'm coming to a last but a very important question. Now, in our college, we have basically 2 types of students. One, who come from the background where they have a family-owned business, but they do not want to continue that for whatever reason. And the second kind of students who want to be entrepreneurs, but they just don't know where to start. Do you have any word of advice for such students?
First, I'll give you my word with respect to the family businesses, students who have family businesses from the past. So I am an entrepreneur myself, and I was I was introduced to entrepreneurship by my father. at a very young age of 18 years, I was made a director in the first company that I was participating. So from a very tender age, I have been in the family business. Family business has its own advantages and disadvantages with respect to the overall grooming of a particular person or an individual. I would say that it gives you a free pass to explore things that you would like to explore with respect to entrepreneurship. So you can have a leap of faith. You may not exactly fall where you want, but you will still get an idea, and it gives you a free pass. So mistakes will not be, you will not get scolded so much for your mistakes in your first venture or your first business that you have tried to take off from your family business, or that you have tried to venture on your own. But with respect to the second category of students who would like to enter the world of entrepreneurship, I would say that everything is not that rosy as it looks. An entrepreneur has to go through a lot. Mr. Devang has seen me grow through, and you can ask him as well in your free time. But yeah, the endurance is tough, but if you endure through that, you will have a great success in your life ahead with respect to business. And yes, entrepreneurship overall seems very well suited for people who want to endure such kind of journey and would like to explore themselves. But apart from that, you can start with other people in collaboration, as well as you can start with a job in a startup. Right now, startups are offering good platforms as well as good economic incentives as well, versus you can go into a huge organization like an MNC, and the economic benefits are enormous. You can gain some experience, and then you can start your own startup or company. So that would be my advice. I would leave it to the individual which route they would like to choose for getting into entrepreneurship. But yes, my entrepreneurship journey has been thrilling, and I'm thrilled to the best out of it till date. So there's no question in regards to that.
Thank you, Gino. That last advice was pretty sound, I guess. If you don't know where to start, just get a job with a good MNC first, understand the market before flying solo. So thank you very much, Gino. That was really interesting to know everything that you shared with us. It was amazing. It was very, very enriching. Now I'll come to the audience. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Some people were randomly raising the hands. Now is the time. If you have any question, please raise the hand. And then after that, yes, I see a student, Vidisha. Please unmute yourself and ask a question.
I'm not able to hear.
Yes, sir. Yes, Vidhi, you can unmute.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. It was lovely listening to you. My question to you is that you explain us the procedure. You gave us the ideas about the pros or merit, to getting an idea patent. But did you experience any demerit or unfortunate situation before or after getting your idea patent?
Yeah. Good afternoon, first of all, and thank you. This is an important question. During the process, yes, we had to have a lot of process back and forth for getting the crux of the idea conveyed to the patent office, and that has a lot of challenges in itself, because it requires enormous documentation and references that you will have to take from the past inventions or the past patents that have happened and that have been registered. In different countries. If you are filing for a WIPO patent, then you'll have to have one patent comes from Germany, the other comes from the US, the other comes from Russia. So yes, we had to have a lot of information decked up so that we could defend our claims in the patent office with respect to the invention that we had at our hand. That was one of the most time-consuming phase that we had during the process of filing this particular patent. Other than that, I have not faced challenges. Yes, while monetizing the patent, due to economic reasons that we were finding difficult for mass implementation of the solution, of the biometric solution that we had developed. But yes, other than that, we had got no challenges as far as the invention is concerned. And yes, if you would want to know about the aniline patent that I am currently doing, the aniline patent has a lot of big chemical players who have their eyes on this particular invention. So we have to go through a lot of we are trying to reiterate what has already been done with respect to the process that had been developed in 1932 and 1943 respectively. So we are trying to demerge ourselves from the process by showing that we are completely different. We have greater efficiency, greater yields, and a lower amount of time to produce the same chemical. So we have shown that already, but yes, so interest of big corporations gives you their own challenges because they have their own interest in this particular aspect.
All right. That was in reference to the second patent, which is under process, a chemical manufacturing process, right? You are trying to make it easier, quicker, and more efficient.
No, we have already done that. Please understand, it has been given a provisional grant, but you still cannot disclose during the provisional granting phase, because there are certain corporations that would like to take away before it has been taken into full granted patent. They would then, you wouldn't have any legal obstacle to challenge them in court.
Correct.
So that is why.
Yeah, so you don't want to reveal too much before we finally have a patent. All right.
Yeah, revealing is not the question. I mean, it's related to temperatures and pressures, which I think students over here would.
Technical, I understand. I understand. All right. Again, I'm seeing some comments in the chat box. Those who cannot download the guiding file from the chat box, no problem. Just join the WhatsApp group. If you have filled the registration form, then you are already a part of the WhatsApp group. Those who have not filled the form, I have sent the link of the WhatsApp group in the chat box right now. Please join the WhatsApp group, and as soon as the session is over, I will make sure to forward that guidelines and the file in the WhatsApp group so that you can have an easy access to it. Yes, I think we have a next question from Simon. Yes, Simon, please unmute yourself and ask the question.
You can unmute.
Good afternoon, sir. I would like to ask, do you think, given the present economic situation of India, it is possible for government to go as per DNA, as you said during the plane crash? So is it possible now for the government to have a record of around 1.5 billion people?
Yes and no. Yes, because we do have the capabilities in terms of getting the DNA or the blood samples related to our people with ease, and we also do have the machinery with respect to the same. So that is not the problem. The problem is getting the DNA and storing it in the software is not a problem, but getting to the economic value of it. Because if the government starts storing everybody's DNA in a supercomputer or in a server, that would entail huge economic cost. So whether the government is suited and ready to have such, or to bear such economic cost for their people is a question that the government would have to answer. But we as India do have the infrastructure, because as you have seen now during the pandemic, that we would have to, get to a lot of charged vaccines would have to be given out, and wherein we do have the expert capabilities. Now you are seeing Serum Institute, Biocon, and others stepping in. So they do have various facilities in Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai. Some of them are there in Patti as well. So we have the groundwork and the infrastructure to collect the blood samples and get the DNAs and store it in the computers or the servers. But the economic cost of that has to be taken into consideration.
Okay, thank you for that. We certainly have time for one more question, the last question. Yes. Do we have any more questions? All right. I guess the document that he has shared is pretty comprehensive, and that should take care of every question that you have. And if it doesn't, then I'm sure you can connect with Gina Vitalia on LinkedIn, and he will be willing to help you. And of course, we have our own resource, Devang Thakur sir, and he will always be available at your disposal. So I think if there are no more questions, then we should bring this to an end. Thank you very much, Gina sir, for being here. And yes, back to you, Nicole.
Hello. I think there is some network error at Nicole's end. Sir, can you proceed for formal vote of thanks, sir?
Yes, ma'am, please.
So participants, I have shared the feedback link in the chat. This link will not be shared on WhatsApp or any other platform, whether on mail. So kindly fill the feedback form with before leaving the session. Thank you so much, sir. And yes. On behalf of entire K. Shraf College family, I, Vaishali Oja, member of CIIE, Center for Innovation, Incubation and Entrepreneurship, would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to Mr. Jinav Gatalia for your precious time and for enlightening our participant on a topic which is very important and pertinent in today's era. At the end of the session, I really believe that taking the idea from lab to land, it takes a lot of efforts, and it is required that we should get our idea have a valuable and monetary value. I would like to thank our management, our principal, Dr. Lily Bhushan, and Vice Principal, Dr. V.S. Kannan, for always being enthusiastic and supportive. I would like to thank all the member teacher of CIIE for always working hard whenever it comes to students' interest in general and learners' interest in particular. My sincere thanks to Ms. Shweta Mishra, Chairperson CIE, for being very proactive in thinking various steps to lead the student to become a successful entrepreneur. Thanks to all our students who are always keen to learn, which keeps us bringing such innovative and important topics. Last but most important, our participants for being such good listeners. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Over to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am, I think we should just share the feedback link again in case somebody has missed it.
Yes, sir. Done.
All right.
I'll wait for participant to fill the feedback form.
Yes, we can certainly wait for a minute.
Yes.
The participants who especially want a certificate, filling a feedback form is compulsory for you people. And even otherwise, even if you don't want a certificate, please fill the feedback form, give us your honest feedback. It gives us an opportunity to improve. So please, we will be very happy if you fill the feedback form. The link has been given in the chat box. It hardly takes 15 seconds. So we will hold on for a moment till you click on the link and it opens into your browser.
I think we have got really appreciating messages on chat box. Jayashree ma'am, thank you. Dr. Kanchana, Sonu Kumar, Mr. Sonu Kumar, Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Ms. Nidhi Singh, thanks a lot.
Because you know, you'll be happy to see people have absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
Can I come in?
Yes. Oh, yes. Devang sir, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Gina, for accepting the invitation and coming in a short time. I really appreciate, and seeing you after such a long time, it's like a pleasure for me as well. Seeing you safe, that is the major important thing.
No worries. It's privilege to be here and address these students who are trying to start their entrepreneurial journey, or even if with respect to patent journey or copyright journey.
Yes. Vaishali ma'am, I cannot start the video as such. I have a very bad camera.
No, not an issue, sir.
I would like to remind the audience here, it is our own faculty of Department of IT. Mr. Devang Thakur, with whose reference we could finally get a resource person like Gina Gatalia. So yes, Devang sir, thank you very much for that.
Sir, it's my pleasure to have such wonderful people in our campus. And we'll always strive to get good resource person into our campus and get our students acquainted with the knowledge which they want. I would rather say the practical knowledge, in fact. That is very much important.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much, Gina. If possible, we would really look forward to have a long-term association with you. I'm very happy that we could connect, and I'm sure the people perceive this as a very, very fruitful session. One of the best 60 minutes they have spent in a recent time. I'm very sure of that. And
I do agree. Yes.
Yeah, and we are finishing right on time. I hope if every session ended right on time, life would have been much more beautiful. Yes, thank you, Gina. Thanks a lot. And I think we can,
Thank you for inviting me, and I hope people have liked the session and they have understood the concept well. If there is anything, you can have my numbers. I mean, they can contact me on LinkedIn or through my numbers as well. I will be happy to entertain any questions further with regards to entrepreneurship or with the patent process. That is not a problem. But I think first it is easier to access Mr. Devang Thakur, who is there in your campus as well. And I hope everyone safe and sound. Good day, but with respect to the COVID that is happening. So with respect to that, I hope everyone is safe. And thank you for inviting me once again.
All right, thank you so much. I think we can end the meeting. Those who are asking for the contact number, I think it is appropriate. You just contact Mr. Gino Gatalia on his LinkedIn profile, and I'm very sure he'll be able to help you out from there. If you just type his name, you'll get his LinkedIn profile on the first page.
Thank you and have a good day. I am leaving. Thank you so much.
Yes, you
have
too.
a good
Bye-bye.
Day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yes, Vaishali ma'am, shall we end the meeting?
Yes, sir. Let's wait for a minute, sir. Let's wait for a minute. Okay.
Sir, I take your leave then?
Yes, Devang sir, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye.
Yes,
bye,
participants, thank you very much for
sir.
joining in. Bye-bye.